Hello, my name is Zach.
My name is Karina.
And we are peer health educators at the Center for Student Wellness and Health Promotion. We are part of Team AOD and we're here to talk to you about DUIs.
So to start off, we have a question from @Pete_Ant. What exactly is driving under the influence? Driving under the influence is a crime or offense of driving while impaired by alcohol or other drugs.
UCI asks, what is a BAC and how is your alcohol intoxication measured? BAC stands for blood alcohol content and it's how much blood alcohol is in your bloodstream. BAC is typically measured by using a breathalyzer if you are pulled over by a police officer for driving while under the influence. @Breathalyzer asks, what is the legal limit for BAC while driving?
So for those under the age of 21 in California, there is a zero tolerance law for those driving under the influence. For those who can legally drink, so for those who are 21 and older, drivers must have a BAC under 0.08. However, if your BAC is under 0.08, this does not mean you cannot be cited, because if you are driving and you do not do well on your field sobriety test, you can still be given a DUI even if your BAC is under 0.08.
@JustinHong00 asks, how many DUI citations were issued in Irvine? In 2015, the number of DUI citations issued in the city of Irvine alone slightly exceeded 700. In Irvine, Newport Beach, and Costa Mesa, the number of DUI citations was about 1,473. However, not all of these cases were exclusively due to alcohol intoxication. One can drive under the influence if they were to be driving while or after using cannabis, prescription drugs, or other substances. UCI Student Wellness asks, is driving under the influence of cannabis safer than driving drunk? The risk of driving under the influence of cannabis tends to be seen as lower than that of driving under the influence of alcohol. However, it is just as potentially as dangerous. In fact, cannabis is the most federally criminalized drug involved in auto fatalities in the United States. @MangoJewelPod asks, how do they measure the amount of drug content in one's system? Drug content can be measured through a blood or urine test. The refusal to give one of these samples can automatically result in a DUI citation.
Or your license can be suspended if you do refuse one of these tests. @RogueStudent asks, how much does a DUI cost financially? So receiving a DUI can lead to a minimum fine and fee of up to $2,200. So this increases if there are any aggravating circumstances when you are under the influence and you are driving. If someone causes an accident while they are under the influence, they could be placed under arrest, and this will only increase the fines that come with a DUI. So let's say someone does have an accident, they can be placed under arrest, and it could cause them to have to hire an attorney to help them with those charges. So this could lead to up to $15,000 in terms of fines and fees.
$15,000 is around the cost of 1 year's worth of tuition at UCI, so keep that in mind. @Aldertree Park asks, what are some of the other costs of receiving a DUI? Along with the fines and fees, cited individuals can be required to attend a 16-week class that meets for 4 hours every Saturday. A DUI can also result in the suspension of a license and can even be added up to a criminal record for up to 10 years.
So this could really harm your chances if you're going to grad school or applying for a job or even working with children.
Yeah.
@Pure Health Educator asks, what are some ways that you can play it safe while you are drinking? So these are some ways that are good to keep in mind when you're interacting with others or when you are trying to make sure everyone gets home safe. So let's say when you know you are drinking, plan ahead on how you're going to use transportation. So set up a support system and a network of friends that makes sure everyone gets home safe. So use taxis such as Ubers or Lyfts, call a friend, or even establish a designated driver. However, remember that a designated driver is not someone who is the least intoxicated, but rather the person who has not been drinking at all. So make sure your friends get home safe and accompany them until they get to their destination.
Stay safe, eaters, and don't drive while under the influence.